All right, good morning, everyone. All right, let's get started. First, let's look at the economic data that's coming out today. So far, we've had unemployment claims for the U.S. Came out 230K, which was better than expected. Core durable goods orders came in better than expected, and durable goods orders came in worse than expected. We have FOMC member Harker speaking at 12 p.m. Eastern. We have the Jackson Hole Symposium going on all day. And then that's it for the U.S. market. So it should be an eventful day. We should have some good market action as a result. Just remember at 12 o'clock Eastern when FOMC member Harker starts speaking, anything they say could change the overall trajectory of the market. So far, pre-market, we are up. NASDAQ, as you can see on the screen, is trading higher, but it is coming down off of its high, so we'll see if that is sustainable. All right, so let's jump right into what was moving on, what was moving yesterday, that is. So firstly, the NASDAQ was bullish yesterday. The QQQ ETF, as you can see on the screen, is mostly going up. The NASDAQ was almost able to reach its target number 2. It got there just after the close, and that target number 2 yesterday was 370.98. All right, looking at individual stocks, NVIDIA, this was able to reach target number 1, and it got there towards the end of the day. It took a long time for it to get there, but it did reach it, target number 1, which was 471.40. Then after hours it had earnings. It's currently up substantially, up over 6%, trading at least 3.3 million shares in the pre-market. And also, of course, it's trading above $1 per share. So since that meets all of our criteria, we will be adding NVIDIA to our pre-market list. So I'll just make a note of that right now. NVIDIA will now be on our list, NVDA. All right. Next up, we've got Mondelez, MDLZ. Now that was able to reach its target number 1 of 70.99 early on. Then it slumped, but at the end of the day, it actually reached target number 2, which was 71.48. Next up, we've got Marvel, MRVL, which was able to reach target number 1 of 60.85. And then it got a little distance towards target number 2, but it didn't get too far. However, it is up sharply in the aftermarket, I believe, maybe related to some, I guess it's related to NVIDIA's earnings somehow, some way. The NASDAQ was up too. Next up, we have INTC, Intel, which was able to reach target number 2 of to the upside of 33.88, and then it topped out. So that was again INTC. Then we had AMD, which was able to reach its target number 2, but at the end of the day, target number 2 for AMD was 109.72. It took to the end of the day for it to get there. There it is on the screen. Next up, we have Apple, which was able to reach its target number 1 of 180.2, And then it got about 2/3 of the way to its target number 2, but it never reached it. So that was Apple AAPL. All right, now next up we've got Qualcomm, QCOM, which was able to reach target number 1 of 110.74. Got halfway to target number 2, but never reached it. So that's Qualcomm, QCOM. Next up is Baidu, BIDU, which was able to reach its target number 1 of 131.97. After that, it got about halfway to target number 2 after a long slump, but it did come back after that. Next up is, I'll skip that one. Next up, we'll look at Tesla, TSLA. And that was able to reach its target number 1 of 234.26, and it almost got to target number 2. It fell short of it. Target number 2 was 239.17, and Tesla topped out somewhere around 238.98, somewhere around there. So it got pretty close, but never reached its target number 2. Google, Alphabet, was able to reach its target number 2, which was 133.23, and it got there pretty quickly. Next up, we've got Meta, which was able to reach target number 2 of 296.99. Followed by PayPal, which was able to reach target number 1, which was 62.16. Then we had Netflix, which was able to reach target number 2 of 431.22. Very good trend on Netflix. And then it topped out at 437.02. Next up is Peloton, which was able to rebound off of its decline and gain back some of its losses. It got to target number 2, which was 561, and then that was it. Topped out at 580 a share. Next up, we have Monster Energy, MNST, which was able to reach target number 1 of 58.08, topping out at 58.30. And then we had VCIG, which was able to reach get up to 935 a share. Didn't have any specific targets, but started today at 554, so that was a pretty substantial move. And that was about it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what stocks were moving in the pre-market, or are moving in the pre-market, and see what we have there. I've already put NVIDIA in the list, so that's already been added. TSHA currently is up over 16%, trading 2.4 million shares, and it's trading above $1 per share. So that definitely qualifies, so we'll add that TSHA to our radar. Next up, we've got BRSH, able to reach 66.47, 4.4 million shares traded roughly, and trading above $1 per share. So BRSH is added as well. Let's see. Nikola is showing up on the radar, but it's not trading in a wide enough range, so I'm going to ignore NKLA. Now, if you folks see any other stocks that meet our criteria, let me know in the chat. The criteria are, it has to be a NASDAQ stock. That's most important. Has to be a stock that's trading at least $1 per share or higher. We would need to see at least a 6% change in the value of the stock, either 6% positive or negative. And we need to see at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume traded. So if you see any other stocks besides NVDA, TSHA, and BRSH that meet those criteria? Let me know in the chat, and then I'll go ahead and take a look. So again, if you see any NASDAQ stocks that are trading for at least $1 per share or more, that have at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume and are trading up or down at least 6%. Let me know in the chat, and then we'll go ahead and take a look. So far, we only have NVIDIA, NVDA, TSHA, and BRSH. How do you find a stock that meets those criteria? You would have to find a stock, you would have to use a screener. You can use Thinkorswim to use as a screener. If you have access to FinViz, you can use it. So if you are not familiar with using screeners to screen stocks, then there is a discussion about that in the program, inside of the coaching room. BETR. I'm not sure because it's not showing a percent change here. It says 0%. Doesn't look like that's a 0% change, but I'm not sure why it's saying 0%. So maybe that's an error on the software. I guess it has to be an error because the stock has clearly changed value. I'll add this to the list because it's clearly down. I just don't know why it's not showing here. So we'll add that to our list. I'm just not aware of what the reason is that it's not showing the percent change, but we'll go ahead and add that. BETR. Obviously the volume's there. Price per share is there. I just answered the question. I said you can use Thinkorswim, you can use FinViz, you would have to use a screener of some sort. But as I mentioned, if you don't know much about using screeners, there's tons of places to use them. So if you have a brokerage account anywhere, you should be able to have a screener. So TrueEdge does not have one, so therefore you would have to go through an outside source. So that does answer the question. If you're not clear what I'm saying, then that's something I would say you want to look up. Groupon, not enough of a price change, Christopher. I'm sorry, not enough volume. Only 143,000 shares traded. Percent change there is 15.92%. That's fine, but the volume's too low. So folks, any other stocks? We have now NVIDIA, NVDA, TSHA, BRSH, or BETR. Those four meet the criteria. If you have any other stocks that you've located through your screening on your own side, that meet the 4 criteria that I mentioned, let me know in the chat. All right, so I'll assume that's it. So we'll go ahead and wrap up today's pre-market pulse. Please be sure to, the 4 criteria are the stock, it has to be a NASDAQ stock, has to trade at least 1 million shares in the pre-market right now. So you see the volume for Groupon is 144,931, which is not a million shares or more. So that disqualifies it for the pre-market list. It has a percent change of at least 6% positive or negative, so that part checks out. It is a NASDAQ stock, of course, and it is trading at least $1 per share in value. So if you have one of those, if you have all those 4 criteria, then it qualifies for the pre-market list, which is all we're looking for right now. After the market opens, we'll just look around to see which stocks are moving. So again, if any of you are not familiar with how to use screeners, there is a video inside of the coaching room. If you're not part of the coaching room, then obviously you won't see that video. But if you are in the coaching room for the program, we go over that. So for those of you who are part of that, I'll be seeing you in about 23 minutes. And that folder at the bottom right, when you're inside the coaching room, will have some resources that you can watch about that topic. Otherwise, just be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll go from there. All right. So affiliate commission traffic, I'm not sure what your name is, but I'll see you in the coaching room if you're part of the program, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. No, Thinkorswim is a trading platform. All right, folks. I will see you in the coaching room if you're in there. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the pre-market pulse. Take care.